Human design isn't just another self-help tool, it's a map of how reality works. It reveals the mechanics behind everything we experience, offering a blueprint for the illusion we call life. This system claims to show us the operational manual for existence, not through belief, but through a logical framework you can test for yourself. Human design is about understanding the patterns that shape both the universe and your unique place within it. By learning these mechanics, you gain insight not just into abstract concepts but into yourself at the deepest level. This is the story of how to navigate life with awareness and purpose. The story of human design begins with a paradox, a mystical revelation that bridges the hidden and the practical. At its core, human design unites the esoteric, the inner spiritual truth, with the exoteric, the outer logical world. It transforms ancient wisdom into a system you can see, test, and use in daily life. This fusion of the mystical and mechanical is what makes human design unique. It's not about choosing between science and spirituality, but seeing how both are woven into the fabric of reality. To understand human design is to embrace this duality, living as both a mystery and a mechanism. Human design arrived to support a new phase in human evolution. For millennia we were 7-centered beings. Now, since 1781, we are 9-centered, fundamentally changed in our awareness and potential. This shift isn't metaphorical, it's a real mutation in our energetic makeup. Human design gives each of us a unique roadmap, not to join a group, but to discover our own authority and individuality. It's not about fitting in, but about celebrating what makes you different. The journey is away from the collective into the singularity of your own being. The purpose of human design is personal transformation, one individual at a time. It's not about following the crowd, but about becoming your own authority and shedding layers of conditioning. Most people never truly know themselves, living by others' expectations. Human design offers practical tools, strategy, and authority to help you trust yourself and make decisions from your own truth. This isn't just theory, it's a way to live with clarity, self-love, and authenticity. The path is about seeing and living the beauty of who you truly are. At its heart, human design explains the mechanics of the Maya, the grand illusion of reality. It's not just philosophy, it's a blueprint for how everything operates, from your thoughts to the universe itself. The Maya is the code behind the game of life, and human design reveals its rules. This system empowers you to move from being a passive observer to an aware participant. The goal isn't to escape the illusion, but to navigate it wisely, embracing your unique role in the cosmic design. Human design invites you to see the clockwork behind the curtain and to live your part with clarity and purpose. When we talk about the mechanics of the Maya, we are shifting the focus from the why to the how. For millennia, humanity has been preoccupied with the great existential why. Why are we here? What is the purpose of it all? These questions have given rise to countless religions and philosophies, each offering its own narrative, its own set of beliefs, its own intended meaning. Human design, however, takes a radically different approach. It bypasses the question of ultimate purpose, and instead provides a detailed explanation of how it all works. It is less concerned with a creator's intent and more focused on the creator's schematics. This is the essence of its exoteric side. It is a science of the process, a detailed breakdown of the operational principles governing our existence. This emphasis on mechanics is what grounds human design in a tangible reality that can be tested and experienced directly. It doesn't present you with a set of commandments to follow, but rather with a user manual for your own energetic vehicle. Imagine owning a highly complex and sophisticated piece of equipment, but having no instructions on how to operate it. You would likely use it incorrectly, inefficiently, and perhaps even damage it in the process, leading to frustration and failure. This is the predicament of most human beings. We are born into these incredible nine-centered forms without the manual. Human design provides that manual. It explains the mechanics of your specific configuration, your energetic type, your unique decision-making process, and your cognitive potential. By laying out these mechanics, the system demystifies the process of living. The mysteries of fate, destiny, and luck are translated into the language of geometry, frequency, and resonance. What might seem like a random encounter or a stroke of bad luck can be understood through the lens of auric mechanics and trajectory. This doesn't remove the magic from life. In a way, it enhances it. To see the perfection of the mechanism in action, to witness the flawless unfolding of events according to a definable pattern, is to experience a different kind of awe. It is the awe of the engineer who appreciates the elegance of a perfectly designed machine, rather than the bewilderment of a spectator witnessing a magic trick they cannot comprehend. The beauty of this mechanical perspective is its inherent neutrality. A mechanism is neither good nor bad, it simply is. It operates according to its design. This viewpoint liberates us from the burden of judgment and blame. When you understand the mechanics of your own being and the being of others, you begin to see that so much of what we label as wrong or flawed is simply a misunderstanding of the operating instructions. A person is not broken, they are simply operating out of alignment with their design. This shift in perspective is the first step toward genuine self-acceptance and compassion for others, as we move from a world of moral judgment to a world of mechanical understanding. The mechanics of the Maya are not confined to the small bubble of our personal lives, they are universal. The same principles that govern the movement of galaxies and the formation of stars are the very same principles that dictate the functioning of your own individual body graph. This is a core tenet of human design. The macrocosm is reflected in the microcosm. The grand cosmic dance of celestial bodies is mirrored in the intricate interplay of energies within your own chart. This is not just a poetic metaphor, it is a literal description of how the system works. The universe is not something out there, separate from you. You are a fractal expression of its totality, a unique and irreplaceable piece of the cosmic puzzle, woven from the very same threads that make up the whole. This connection is established through the constant stream of information carried by neutrinos. As we've touched upon, neutrinos are subatomic particles that originate from the stars, pouring through the cosmos and passing through everything in their path, including us. As this stream of cosmic information flows through the crystals of consciousness that are the core of our being, it is filtered and imprinted. This process is what generates our unique design. In this way, the entire universe is constantly informing our existence, programming our cells, and shaping our experience from moment to moment. The mechanics of the Maya are therefore the mechanics of this constant dynamic interplay between the cosmic program and our individual receptive form. Understanding this allows us to see that we are not isolated beings struggling against a hostile or indifferent universe. We are intrinsically linked to everything. The mechanics are holistic and all-encompassing. The position of a planet at the moment of your birth is not a superstitious belief but a marker of a specific frequency, a specific flavor of information that was imprinted upon your being. Your human design chart is a snapshot of your relationship to the whole at the moment you entered the world. It is a map of your unique energetic frequency and how it is designed to interact with the frequencies of the world around you. This perspective fosters a deep sense of belonging and interconnectedness, not as a belief, but as a mechanical fact. This cosmic weave ensures that everything has its place and its purpose within the larger pattern. There are no accidents. Your unique design is a necessary component of the whole. When you live in accordance with your mechanics, you are not just creating a better life for yourself. You are also contributing your correct frequency to the symphony of the cosmos. You are playing your part in the grand illusion perfectly. Conversely, when you live out of alignment, in the homogenized state of the not-self, your frequency creates dissonance. The mechanics of the Maya are not punitive, they simply reflect back the harmony or disharmony of your alignment, demonstrating the profound link between your personal journey and the functioning of the entire cosmic system. The grand illusion of the Maya is not an abstract fog, it is written into form. The entire system of human design is built upon what is called the form principle. This is the understanding that the body, the vehicle, is the life. It is the form that provides the structure through which consciousness can have an experience on this physical plane. The mechanics of the Maya are therefore fundamentally the mechanics of the form. Before we can even begin to speak of the mind, the personality, or the passenger consciousness, we must first honor the vehicle that carries them. The illusion is experienced through our senses, processed by our brains, and lived out through the actions of our bodies. The form is the stage upon which the entire drama of our lives unfolds. This principle is revolutionary because it directly challenges millennia of spiritual and philosophical traditions that have sought to transcend, deny, or escape the body. Many belief systems view the physical form as a limitation, a prison for the soul, or a source of temptation and sin to be overcome. Human design completely inverts this perspective. It posits that the body is not a prison, but a highly intelligent navigating instrument. It is the source of our truth, our wisdom, and our connection to the mechanical flow of life. The mind, with its endless chatter, anxieties, and plans, is the source of distortion. The body, when allowed to operate correctly, is the source of clarity. The language of the Maya is not spoken in words, but in physical sensations, energetic responses, and visceral authority. To understand the mechanics of the illusion, you must learn to speak and listen to this language of form. This is the practical application of strategy and authority. Your strategy is the mechanical rule for how your physical form is designed to engage with the world, and your authority is the way your body communicates its truth to you, bypassing the deceptive machinations of the mind. For a generator, the language is the sacral response. For a projector, it is the feeling of recognition. For a manifester, it is the impulse to inform. For a reflector, it is the clarity that comes with the lunar cycle. These are not mental concepts, they are physical, somatic experiences. The Maya communicates its flow through your form, and your correctness depends on your ability to honor that communication above all else. This focus on the form principle is the key to navigating the illusion successfully. When you live from your mind, you are living in a world of ideas, fears, and hopes, a second-hand, distorted version of reality. You are fighting the mechanics, trying to force life to conform to your mental picture of how it should be. This is the source of resistance, frustration, anger, and disappointment. But when you surrender to the wisdom of your form, you align yourself with the actual mechanics of the Maya. You begin to move with the current of life rather than struggling against it. You discover that the body is not a limitation but the very key that unlocks the door to a life of ease, correctness, and profound awareness. Understanding the mechanics of the Maya is fascinating, but the knowledge is ultimately useless if it remains purely theoretical. The true purpose of human design is not to create armchair cosmologists, but to provide a practical tool for navigating the matrix of everyday life. The ultimate test of this knowledge lies in its application. It is about taking these grand cosmic concepts and translating them into simple, actionable steps that can fundamentally alter your life experience. This is where the esoteric meets the exoteric in the most grounded way possible. The entire vast system, with its crystals, neutrinos, and cosmic origins, distills down to a very simple, personal experiment, living according to your strategy and authority. This is the master key to the mechanics. Your strategy and authority are your personal navigation tools for the Maya. They are the practical interface between your unique design and the world around you. The illusion of reality is a complex web of frequencies, opportunities, and interactions. Your mind is utterly incapable of correctly navigating this complexity. It gets lost in the details, swayed by fear and clouded by desire. Your inner authority, however, is designed to resonate with what is correct for you within that web. It is your built-in compass, always pointing you along your correct trajectory. Following it is how you engage with the mechanics of the Maya in a way that is harmonious and supportive of your unique nature, ensuring you meet the experiences and people that are correct for you. This practical application is a process of deconditioning. From the moment we are born, we are taught to ignore our inner authority and rely on our minds to make decisions. We are conditioned to be homogenized, to act like everyone else, and to follow external rules and expectations. Living your strategy and authority is the antidote to this conditioning. It is a process of unlearning, of stripping away the layers of the not-self that obscure your true nature. Each time you make a decision correctly, using your body's wisdom instead of your mind's logic, you strengthen your connection to your authentic self. You begin to recalibrate your frequency, moving out of the distorted, homogenized field and into the clear, powerful signal of your own uniqueness. Ultimately, navigating the matrix is about surrender. It is not a surrender of your power, but a surrender to your own truth. It is the recognition that a deeper intelligence is at work, an intelligence embedded in the mechanics of your form and the universe itself. By trusting your vehicle and its innate guidance system, you allow the mechanics of the Maya to work for you, not against you. Life begins to flow. The right opportunities appear. The right people show up. The struggle ceases, replaced by a sense of being carried by the river of your own life. This is the promise of understanding the mechanics, not to escape the illusion, but to master your movement within it, transforming your life from a battle into a beautiful, effortless dance. To truly begin the story of human design, one must start with its own origin, which is as bizarre and profound as the knowledge it conveys. I have always seen the world through the lens of duality, for it seems to be the fundamental operating principle of our existence. Everything we experience in this Maya is a play of opposites, the highs and the lows, the light and the shadow, the beginning and the end. This constant interplay is the very engine of life, creating the dynamic tension that defines our reality. It is simply the nature of being. Human design, in its elegant complexity, is nothing less than a perfect reflection of this universal law, a mirror held up to the deepest duality of all, revealing the intricate dance between two seemingly opposing forces. This ultimate duality is the fusion of the esoteric and the exoteric. The esoteric is the realm of the hidden, the mystical, the deep spiritual truths that have been whispered down through the ages by sages and mystics. It is the formless, the unseen, the knowledge that speaks directly to the essence of our being. The exoteric, in contrast, is the world of the manifest, the practical, the logical, and the scientifically verifiable. It is the world of form, of tangible reality, of systems and structures that can be measured and analyzed. Human design performs an extraordinary act of alchemy by bridging this ancient chasm. It takes the most profound esoteric wisdom and presents it through a clear, logical, and mechanical system that you can actually see, test, and apply in your day-to-day life. This unique synthesis is precisely what makes human design so revolutionary and distinct from any other system on the planet. It does not force a choice between spirituality and science, or between a belief in the unseen and a reliance on empirical evidence. Instead, it reveals them as two inseparable sides of the same coin, integral aspects of a single, unified reality. The knowledge was not invented through intellectual deduction. It was revealed in a powerful encounter, bringing forth a system that honors both the sacred mystery of our inner world and the practical mechanics of our outer life. It is, in essence, a science of the soul, a logical framework for understanding our unique place in the cosmos, yet its origins are rooted in a story that transcends the normal boundaries of human experience. As we delve deeper into this cosmological journey, it is essential to maintain this dual perspective. We will explore narratives that sound like mythology and cosmic histories that feel like ancient fairy tales. Simultaneously, we will examine precise mechanics, logical formulas, and systematic charts that appeal to our rational minds. The true power and magic of human design are discovered in the integration of these two apparent opposites. It teaches us that the universe is both a divine mystery and a flawlessly engineered machine, and that we, as human beings, are the living embodiment of this magnificent paradox. To understand human design is to learn to stand comfortably at this intersection, seeing the mechanics within the mystery and the mystery within the mechanics. The arrival of human design knowledge into the world was not a random event or simply for the purpose of satisfying intellectual curiosity. It came with a profound and timely mission to lay the groundwork for a new stage in human evolution and to provide the necessary support for the emergence of a new kind of human. We are a species in transition, a vital link in a long evolutionary chain that is currently undergoing a monumental shift. If you look back through the pages of recorded history, all the famous characters you learned about as a child, the conquerors, the artists, the prophets, the philosophers, all of them were what human design identifies as seven-centered beings. For millennia, humanity operated with a specific seven-centered energetic framework that shaped their civilizations, their strategic thinking, and their entire way of life. That era, however, is over. Human design emerged to serve something entirely new on this planet, you and me. We are the new development. We are nine-centered beings. This is not a poetic metaphor or a philosophical concept. It is a literal description of a fundamental genetic mutation that began in 1781 with the discovery of the planet Uranus. This evolutionary leap fundamentally altered our auric structure and energetic potential. It marked the transition from the strategic, mentally driven, hierarchical, seven-centered human to the receptive, awareness-oriented, and inwardly focused, nine-centered being we are today. This transformation is arguably the single most significant event in modern human history, yet it has gone almost entirely unrecognized by the mainstream world, which still operates on the old seven-centered principles. The revealed mechanics within the human design system provide the essential tools for this new human to navigate life and realize its potential. For the very first time in our history, every single person has access to a precise and unique roadmap to their own inner truth. This knowledge is a guide to achieving a state of personal perfection, not by becoming something you are not, but by fully embracing the magnificent uniqueness you were born with. This is perhaps the most radical and challenging aspect of human design, as it stands in stark contrast to nearly every other system of knowledge that has ever existed on this planet. Most spiritual paths, religions, and social movements are designed to bring people together under a unified flag. These older systems create communities and bonds based on shared beliefs, shared deities, shared stories, and shared ways of living. Their goal is to provide comfort and security through collective identity, through the feeling of belonging to a group where everyone is on the same page. This is absolutely not what human design is about. It does not seek to create another ism, another movement, or another community of like-minded followers. Its purpose is not to homogenize but to differentiate. It is not about finding solace by being the same as everyone else. It is about discovering the profound, liberating, and sometimes unsettling truth of your own singular nature, empowering you to live a life that is authentically and unapologetically yours. The core directive of human design is incredibly specific and unwavering. It exists solely for the transformation of the individual, one person at a time. It is not concerned with what your partner is doing, what society thinks is correct, or what the latest self-help guru is proclaiming. It is designed to cut through the immense static of the collective and bring the focus back to the only thing you have any true power over, your own life and your own decisions. For centuries, we have been conditioned to live as part of a herd, like sheep constantly looking outside of ourselves for a shepherd to provide guidance and protection. This old seven-centered model of seeking external authority has left humanity deeply vulnerable to manipulation, abuse, and homogenization. Human design represents a radical break from this deeply ingrained pattern. It is not about finding a new leader to follow or a new set of rules to adopt. It is about becoming your own authority, about cultivating a deep and unshakable trust in your own inner guidance system. Through my many years of teaching this knowledge, one of the most poignant and consistent things I have observed is how deeply human beings tend to dislike themselves. This dissatisfaction often runs so deep that it borders on self-hatred. The reason for this is devastatingly simple. They have never been given the chance to know who they truly are. They have spent their lives trying to be something they are not, living out the conditioning of their parents, their schools, and their culture, never experiencing the freedom of their own nature. This journey into the mechanics of your own being is therefore all about you. It is an exploration of your unique blueprint. The story of human design cosmology is vast and beautiful, a ride worth taking for its own sake. But it is essential to remember that the knowledge itself is not the end goal. The true value lies in how it empowers you to live your life. This is not just another interesting philosophy to ponder. It may be the single most important thing you will ever encounter because it offers a practical, mechanical path to realizing your true potential. And that potential is almost certainly not what your mind imagines it to be. It is not about achieving some fantasized version of success or perfection. To truly become yourself is an extraordinary and profound process. It requires the courage to begin dismantling the lifelong conditioning that has shaped you. It means learning to release the grip of the tyrannical mind, the part of you that has been taught to rule your life with its anxieties, its strategies, and its constant stream of second-guessing. The goal is to find a place of deep trust within your own form, a place of reliable inner authority. This allows you to navigate the world without the constant burden of fear, because you come to understand, through direct experience, that it is not up to your mind to make the decisions that shape your destiny. The grace of being a nine-centered being is that we can finally let go of that impossible responsibility. The primary obstacle to living an authentic life, and the main source of our suffering, is the conditioned mind. As nine-centered beings, we are not designed to make decisions from our minds. This is a fundamental shift from the seven-centered human, who was built to be strategic and mentally oriented. For us, the mind has a new and valuable role, but it is not that of the ultimate authority. It is meant to be a tool for awareness, a source of inspiration, and a way to conceptualize and share unique perspectives with others. However, we are raised in a world that is still run by the old seven-centered rules, a world that worships the logical, strategic mind and tells us from birth that we must think it through, make a plan, and use our heads to get ahead in life. This conditioning creates a deep internal conflict. Your mind, which is part of the 4.6% of you that is atomic and deeply susceptible to outside influence, becomes the mouthpiece for your conditioning. It is filled with the voices of your parents, your teachers, and your culture. It operates from a place of fear, driven by a need for security and a desire to control the uncontrollable future. When you allow this conditioned mind to make your life decisions, you are essentially letting the outside world dictate your path. You are living what we call the not-self life. This is the source of the signature feelings of frustration, anger, bitterness, and disappointment that plague so many people. It is the pain of living out of alignment with your true nature. The journey of deconditioning in human design is the process of dethroning this tyrant. It is about learning to observe the mind without being controlled by it. When you begin to operate from your strategy and authority, you create a space between your awareness and the mind's constant chatter. You start to see the mind for what it is, a fascinating, often brilliant but ultimately unreliable narrator of your life. You can watch its anxieties, its justifications, and its elaborate stories without being swept away by them. You realize that your mind's fears are not your own truths and its plans are not the map to your destiny. This is a profound liberation that allows you to access a much deeper intelligence that resides within your form. This is not to say that the mind is the enemy. It is a beautiful and powerful aspect of our being when it is operating correctly. The problem is not the mind itself, but the authority we have given it over our lives. It is like having a passenger in the back seat of your car who is constantly screaming directions, grabbing the steering wheel, and slamming on imaginary brakes. The ride becomes terrifying and erratic. The goal of human design is to gently but firmly place the mind back in the passenger seat where it can enjoy the view and offer interesting commentary while allowing the true driver, your inner authority, to navigate the journey. Only then can you find your correct path and move through life with ease and grace. One of the most beautiful and profound outcomes of embarking on the human design experiment is the discovery of genuine self-love. As I mentioned, the vast majority of human beings are walking around with a deep-seated sense of not being okay, a feeling that there is something fundamentally wrong with them. They spend their lives trying to fix themselves, to improve themselves, to become a better version of who they are, never realizing that the person they are trying to fix is not actually them at all. It is the construct of the not-self, the homogenized persona they adopted to survive in the world. The constant failure to live up to this artificial ideal is what breeds the feelings of inadequacy and self-rejection that are so painfully common. When you begin to live according to your strategy and authority, you start to peel back these layers of conditioning. You begin to make choices that are correct for your unique energetic makeup, and for the first time, you get to experience what it feels like to be you. This is not a concept or an affirmation, it is a lived cellular experience. You begin to see that the things you were taught to see as flaws, perhaps your inconsistency, your emotional waves, your need for solitude, or your unconventional way of thinking, are not flaws at all. They are essential, integral aspects of your unique design, the very qualities that make you who you are. The judgment begins to fall away, replaced by a simple and profound acceptance. This acceptance is the seed of true self-love. It is not an arrogant or narcissistic love, but a quiet, deep appreciation for the perfection of your own mechanics. You see the beauty in your design, the elegance of how you are built to navigate the world. You stop fighting yourself and start honoring yourself. This shift changes everything. It changes how you see yourself, how you interact with others, and how you experience the world. The desperate search for validation from the outside world begins to fade because you are finding a source of unshakable validation within. You no longer need others to approve of you when you are living in alignment with your own inner truth. This is not just about feeling good about yourself, it is about living out the beauty of what it is to be you. It is about expressing your unique signature, the feeling of peace, satisfaction, success, or surprise that is the hallmark of living your design correctly. This is the ultimate gift of the journey, not just to see and understand your uniqueness, but to live it, to breathe it, to embody it in every moment. It is a path that leads away from the homogenized madness of the world and into the sanctuary of your own being, where you can finally rest in the simple, beautiful truth of who you were always meant to be. This is the real transformation, and it is available to every single individual willing to take the experiment. For all the cosmic depth and intricate detail within the human design system, the entire journey begins and ends with something incredibly simple. It is a simplicity that the mind often resists, searching for something more complex to grasp onto, but it is the bedrock of the entire process. The path to liberating yourself from the tyranny of the mind and aligning with your true nature comes down to two practical tools: your type's strategy, and your personal inner authority. This is the mantra of human design. Repeat it over and over again, because it is the only thing that works. It is the key that unlocks the door, the simple instruction that begins the deconditioning process and opens you up to a new level of awareness. Strategy and authority are not philosophies to be believed in. They are mechanics to be experimented with. Your strategy is the simple rule for how your energy type is designed to engage with life to minimize resistance. For a generator, it is to wait to respond. For a projector, it is to wait for the invitation. For a manifester, it is to inform before acting. For a reflector, it is to wait a full lunar cycle. Your authority is your body's unique and reliable way of telling you yes or no when life presents you with these opportunities. It could be a sacral sound, a splenic intuition, an emotional wave, or one of the other authorities. It is your personal truth detector, and it never lies. By committing to this simple experiment, making decisions only according to your strategy and authority, you begin a profound rewiring of your entire being. You stop feeding the conditioned mind and start nourishing your true self. Each correct decision strengthens your connection to your body's wisdom and weakens the grip of the not-self. This is what opens the door to genuine awareness. When you are no longer lost in the mind's endless loops of worry and strategic planning, your consciousness is freed up to simply observe. You get to watch the movie of your life unfold without being lost in the drama. You get to see the mind and its distortions without identifying with them. This is the entire point of honoring the form principle. It is about trusting the vehicle so that the passenger consciousness can awaken. Without honoring your body and its innate intelligence, there is no possibility of higher awareness. You remain trapped in the homogenized illusion, stuck in a life where you cannot truly see, missing the incredible beauty and humor of it all. Strategy and authority is the simple, practical, and profoundly transformative starting point. It is the way you take this vast cosmological knowledge and make it real in your life, unlocking the potential to see yourself, to see others, and to see the world with a clarity that your mind could never have imagined. When my mystical encounter began, the first thing I was given was not a set of rules or a moral code. I was given cosmology. It unfolded like a bedtime story for a cosmic child, though certainly one with a great deal more oomph. I was presented with a narrative of in the beginning. I have heard many creation stories in my life, from the ancient Sumerians and Akkadians to the myths of the Bhan, the Maia, and countless others. They are fascinating tales, rich with gods and heroes. But the cosmology that was unveiled to me, what we call rave cosmology, was profoundly different. It began before the start. And most shockingly, it began without a godhead, without a singular all-powerful creator waving a magic wand to set everything in motion. This was the start of a deep rewiring in my own understanding of the universe, particularly concerning the nature of intent. We live in a world that is so deeply saturated with the assumption of a grand, intentional design behind everything. Our philosophies, our religions, and our collective psyche are all built upon the bedrock of a purposeful creator. To even suggest otherwise is to make oneself a target in the homogenized madness of our world. You must tread on very careful ground to propose that no great power was there before the beginning, orchestrating the first moment. Yet, in rave cosmology, there is no such grand intent. Instead, there is the pure, serendipitous magic of what can happen will happen. So, let me take you back to that beginning before the start. The story is called The Mechanics of the Gods, and the very first part of it is known as the Bhan plate. It is, at its heart, the story of the crystals of consciousness, because that is truly what everything is about. These extraordinary, otherworldly objects are the foundation of all existence as we know it. The story began like this, whispered into my awareness during that first evening of the event, as an otherworldly movie played out before me. In the beginning, before the start, there was the two. They have names. Everything has a name. One is called the Bhan, and one is called the Tugh. This was the primordial duality. There was no one thing, but two. The Bhan and the Tugh were two immense singular crystals of consciousness, existing in the vast, empty potential of the pre-cosmos. I was told that these were the original sources, and that I, along with every other living being, carried elements of these original crystals deep within me. This was not just a myth. It was being presented as the literal origin story of the components that give us life and consciousness. It was the story of where the very filters of our perception came from, a tale that begins not with a bang or a word, but with the silent, majestic presence of these two primordial crystalline forces. The story of the Bhan and the Tugh is the story of the first cosmic event, the collision that would give birth to the universe as we know it. In the beginning, there was the yin crystal, the Bhan, and the yang crystal, the Tugh. They existed in this state of pure potential moving through the void, and then, inevitably, they collided. They banged into each other with an inconceivable force, and in that moment an incredible shattering took place. Whoosh! The two original crystals were annihilated, exploding into an infinite number of fragments, like cosmic dust scattered across the emergent fabric of space and time. This was not the Big Bang of hot atomics. This was a much earlier, more fundamental event, the shattering of consciousness itself. Each and every one of us, and indeed all living things, are endowed with these shattered aspects of the original source. These fragments are the very crystals of consciousness that reside within us. This is the great secret of our makeup. We are seeded with the remnants of this primordial collision. The crystals are the only link we have to what existed before the start, to what cannot truly be known within the context of our universal Maya. They are of the unknowable, because they are the unknowable, shattered into countless pieces. Everything that has come into existence since, all the galaxies, stars, planets, and life forms, has emerged from the potential created by this initial shattering and the dispersion of these crystal fragments. These primordial crystals are the filtering mechanisms of reality. Think about that for a moment. The very agency of your existence, the mechanism that allows you to experience life, is a tiny fragment of an ancient cosmic crystal. In the framework of human design, we understand that each of us has two of these crystals. One is the design crystal, which manifests and maintains the physical vehicle, our body. The other is the personality crystal, which is the seat of our self-reflective consciousness, the passenger watching the movie of our life. These crystals are not just metaphors, they are the fundamental components that filter the vast stream of information flowing through the universe, allowing for individuated life to emerge. This story of the great shattering is a fairy tale, a mystical drama, and I understand the need for that drama. It speaks to a deep part of us that resonates with myth and origin stories. But underneath the fairy tale lies a profound mechanic. It explains the diversity and uniqueness of all life. Just as no two snowflakes are alike, no two crystal fragments are identical. Each shard from that original collision carries a unique geometric potential, a specific filtering capacity. This is the mechanical basis for our differentiation. Your uniqueness is not a psychological trait, it is a cosmological fact, imprinted into the very structure of the consciousness crystals that are the foundation of your being. Of the two crystals that give us life, the personality crystal is perhaps the most extraordinary, and the one we most closely identify with. It is the very source of what we perceive as us, our sense of self, our awareness, and the voice in our head that never seems to stop talking. The closest concept we have in our old seven-centered language to describe this crystal is the idea of the soul. It is the part of us that we imagine carries the essence of our being, the spirit that animates the flesh. And in a way, this is a useful comparison because one of the most profound things to understand about the personality crystal is that it is eternal. It is the one thing about you that truly persists. These personality crystals, these tiny fragments of the original Tugh crystal, go from vehicle to vehicle, from lifetime to lifetime. They are the constant thread weaving through countless incarnations. This is a staggering concept to grasp. It dismantles the common New Age notion of old souls and new souls. I often find it amusing when people try to compliment you by saying you are an old soul, or dismiss someone by saying they are a new one. The truth is, we all started at the same time. All of our personality crystals came into being at the moment of the Great Shattering some 15 billion years ago. We have all been around forever, literally forever, gathering experience as we pass through form after form. This eternal aspect of the personality crystal is what we refer to as the passenger consciousness. It is the watcher, the observer that is seated in the back of the vehicle of your body. It is the pure awareness that is there before you come into this life, that is with you throughout this life, and that will survive you when this body is gone. It is the true essence of you. The challenge is that this pure passenger consciousness is almost entirely masked by the mind. Your mind, which is the expressive function of the personality crystal within the brain, becomes so deeply entangled in the drama of daily survival, the worries, the plans, the desires, that it completely obscures the silent, aware passenger that lies behind it all. The journey of awareness in human design is ultimately about getting to a place where you can begin to differentiate between your mind and your passenger consciousness. It is about realizing that you are not your thoughts. You are the one who is aware of the thoughts. When you can make this separation, you can begin to access the perception of the passenger, to see the world from its truly ancient and objective perspective. And here is the paradox. This perspective is not human. It does not belong to this world of form. It is an ancient, crystalline consciousness, simply having an experience in a temporary biological costume, and its view of the world is utterly different from the one your mind is so desperately trying to manage. While the personality crystal represents the eternal continuity of consciousness, the design crystal tells a very different story. It is the story of the form, of the physical body, the vehicle that carries the eternal passenger. Unlike the personality crystal, your design crystal is brand new. Every life brings a new model, a completely fresh and unique vehicle. The design crystals are the shattered fragments of the primordial Bhan crystal, and they are not eternal in the same way. They are part of a vast bundle or band of consciousness that is responsible for producing all the forms on this planet, from the simplest single-celled organism to the complexity of a human being. When a body dies, its design crystal returns to this band, ready to be recycled into a new form. This means that every time you incarnate, you step into a brand new, state-of-the-art biological machine. There is no carryover of physical trauma or genetic memory through the design crystal itself. It is a clean slate. The design crystal enters the mother's womb at the moment of conception, and it is this crystal that immediately begins the process of building the fetus. It is the master architect of the biological form, orchestrating the intricate dance of cellular division and differentiation that creates the body. It takes the genetic material from the mother and father, and uses it as the raw material to construct a unique vehicle according to its own specific blueprint, which is imprinted by the neutrino stream at that moment. For the first trimester of pregnancy, it is only the design crystal that is present, silently and intelligently building the house. The personality crystal, the passenger, has not yet arrived. It remains outside the form, connected only by what is called the consciousness thread. Then, approximately 88 degrees of the sun's movement before the moment of birth, about 3 months, the personality crystal enters the body. This is a critical moment in our mechanics. It is the moment the passenger gets into the vehicle for the first time. From this point on, the two crystals must learn to operate in a union, held together by the magnetic monopole, but they remain fundamentally distinct entities with very different natures and agendas. Understanding this duality between the newness of the body and the ancientness of the passenger is crucial. It helps us to appreciate the miracle of the form principle. Your body is not some old, tired vessel. It is a unique, contemporary expression of life, perfectly designed for this specific incarnation. It is the source of your life and your vitality. The great tragedy of the not-self is that the ancient passenger, through its instrument of the mind, attempts to control and override the intelligence of this brand new vehicle. It imposes its old patterns, fears, and conditionings onto a form that is simply trying to operate correctly in the now. The first step to a correct life is to honor the wisdom of this new body, to trust its mechanics over the ancient chatter of the passenger. These crystals of consciousness, the very core of our being, are fascinating because they are our only tangible link to what is truly unknown and unknowable. They come from a time before time, a state of being before the universe as we perceive it existed. And here is something truly mind-bending to contemplate. These crystals that reside within you, the very things that give you consciousness and orchestrate your physical form, have absolutely nothing in common with what you are made of. Your body, your brain, the planet you live on, the stars in the sky, everything you can see and touch is atomic. It is made of the matter that was forged in the heat of the Big Bang. But the crystals are not. This is where rave cosmology intersects with the very frontiers of modern physics. We now know that everything we can see, all the stars and galaxies, all the matter we have ever known, makes up only 4.6% of the totality of the universe. The rest is a combination of dark energy and dark matter. Our crystals of consciousness are made of this dark matter. They are dark matter crystals residing within these temporary atomic forms. It is an incredible thing to ponder. People are always looking to the skies for aliens, for something other. The truth is, we are the aliens. The very core of our being, the source of our awareness, is made of a substance that is not native to the material world we inhabit. This dark matter was there before the hot atomics, before the first photons flew at the speed of light. It is cold, it is slow, and it is structured. It is not creative or mutative in the way that hot, chaotic atomic matter is, and yet, here it is, embedded within us. This creates a profound juxtaposition within our very nature. We are these hot, mutative atomic engines, capable of rapid change and adaptation, but we are being guided and structured by a cold, ancient, and unchanging form of matter. It is as if the vast, stable field of dark matter is using this tiny 4.6% of creative atomic potential to have an experience, to explore the possibilities of mutation and evolution in a way it cannot do on its own. This is why the crystals are a link to the unknowable. We are atomic beings, and our senses and instruments are designed to perceive the atomic world. When we look up at the space between the stars, we see nothing, emptiness, but it is not empty. It is full of dark matter that we simply cannot perceive. The great experiments, like the Large Hadron Collider at CERN, are humanity's first attempts to finally touch this hidden reality, to find the key to measuring and understanding this substance that makes up the vast majority of everything. They are, without knowing it, on the verge of discovering the very material that our consciousness is made of, confirming the mystical story I was told all those years ago. Now that we understand what the crystals are and where they come from, we can look at their primary function. They are the prime agencies of our existence. Everything we experience as life, form, and consciousness emerges through the filtering process of these crystals. The universe is not empty, it is filled with a dense, streaming field of neutrinos, which carry mass and information from every star in the cosmos. This neutrino stream is constantly passing through everything, including our planet and our bodies. It is the great program of the universe, the background frequency of the Maia. But this information would remain a chaotic, undifferentiated soup if not for the crystals. The crystals of consciousness act as unique, complex prisms. As the neutrino stream flows through them, they filter it. Each crystal, due to its unique original geometry from the shattering, has a specific and consistent way of interpreting this information. The design crystal, for example, filters the neutrino stream to provide the ongoing blueprint for the vehicle. It is constantly translating the cosmic program into biological instructions, governing everything from our cellular replication to our immune system response. The way your design crystal filters information determines the mechanics of your physical body, your health, your energy, and how you are designed to operate correctly in the world. Simultaneously, the personality crystal is also filtering the very same neutrino stream, but in a completely different way. Its filtering process is what gives rise to the phenomenon we call mind or self-reflective consciousness. The way your personality crystal interprets the neutrino information determines your perspective, your cognitive style, your way of seeing and processing the world. This is what creates the illusion of a separate I that is thinking and experiencing. It is the source of your unique awareness, the specific flavor of consciousness that is you. The mind is not creating reality, it is a manifestation of the personality crystal's specific way of filtering it. Therefore, our entire experience of life is a byproduct of this dual filtering process. We are not just in the world, we are a specific interpretation of the world, created by the unique properties of our two crystals. This is the mechanical basis of our individuation. Your chart, your body graph, is a map of how your crystals are designed to filter reality. It shows you the mechanics of your form and the potential of your awareness. When you live according to your strategy and authority, you are aligning your actions with the correct filtering process of your crystals, allowing you to live out the unique life that is encoded within them, free from the distortion and homogenization of the not-self mind. To truly grasp the nature of our construction as nine-centered beings, we must zoom out and look at the composition of the universe itself. Modern astrophysics, through its most advanced measurements of the biverse, the totality of it all, has come to a staggering conclusion that perfectly aligns with the cosmology I was given. The latest data presents us with three key components. First, there are atoms, the stuff we are made of. Think about everything you know, yourself, your loved ones, the mountains, the oceans, the birds in the sky. Then expand your imagination to include all the planets, all the stars, all the galaxies and superclusters stretching across billions of light years. It seems impossibly vast, a universe teeming with substance, and yet, all of it, everything we can see and touch, accounts for only 4.6% of the total mass energy of the universe. It's practically nothing. This atomic matter is what the Big Bang created. It is hot, chaotic, and mutative. It is the raw material of stars, planets, and life as we know it. We are atomic beings, and because of this, our perception is limited. We are designed to see the world through an atomic lens, which means we can only perceive what we are. When you gaze up at the night sky and see the immense blackness between the stars, no matter how powerful your telescope, you perceive emptiness. You see a void. But this is only an illusion born of our own limited atomic nature. We are looking at a universe that is almost entirely composed of things we cannot see, and we are fundamentally blind to its true nature. We are a tiny, mutative flicker in an ocean of unseen reality. The second component, making up about 23% of the mass of the totality, is dark matter. It is everywhere, interpenetrating everything. And here is the crucial point. Dark matter was there before the start. It existed before the hot atomics of the Big Bang, before the first photons began to race at the speed of light, before there was heat, before there was time as we measure it. It is not God, it is matter. But it is a form of matter that we cannot see, cannot touch, and cannot directly measure. Its existence is inferred only indirectly through its gravitational effects on the 4.6% of atomic matter that we can observe. It is the vast, hidden scaffolding upon which our tiny, visible universe is built. The final and largest component at 72.3% is dark energy, a mysterious, repulsive force that is causing the expansion of the universe to accelerate. For the last 2 billion years, the proportion of dark energy has been increasing at a fantastic rate, constantly changing the dynamics of the biverse. So here we are, these tiny atomic beings, living on a speck of dust in a cosmos that is 95.4% composed of dark, unseen forces. This is the stage upon which our lives unfold. To understand ourselves, we must first understand the profound reality of this cosmic composition, because the very things that give us consciousness and hold us together are born from this immense, invisible darkness that surrounds us. Now let us bring this cosmic perspective down to the personal level. The story of the crystals of consciousness, these fragments of the primordial Bhan and Tugh, is the story of dark matter entering into our lives. This is what our crystals are made of. They are dark matter crystals, residing within these temporary fragile atomic forms. This is the great juxtaposition that defines our existence. I have always found it amusing when I hear people speculating about alien life, searching the stars for beings from other worlds. The irony is profound. We are the aliens, the very core of our being, the source of our consciousness, and the intelligence that orchestrates our physical form is made of a substance that is not of this atomic world. It is a visitor from a time before time. Think about the implications of this. The very thing that gives you your sense of self, the mechanism that is the ultimate controller for how your body will live out its life on this plane, is something you cannot see, cannot touch, and have nothing in common with. It comes from a time before light, before heat, before the chaotic dance of atoms even began. Dark matter, unlike hot atomic matter, is cold. It is incredibly stable and structured. Mutation is not even a concept that can be applied to it. We are therefore a hybrid species, a walking, talking juxtaposition of two fundamentally different kinds of matter. We have these hot, creative, and mutative atomic bodies, yet this hot, unpredictable engine is being controlled and structured by the cold, ancient intelligence of dark matter. It is as if the vast, stable majority of the biverse is attempting to harness the creative potential of the tiny 4.6% of atomic matter, using us as a vehicle for experience and evolution. We are the experiment where the hot and the cold, the creative and the structured, come together. This understanding changes everything. We are not just a random biological accident on a lonely planet. We are the meeting point of cosmic forces, a bridge between two different realities. The human percentage, this 4.6%, is so small, and it is a metaphor for what is possible for us. The vast majority of humanity, like the universe itself, remains cold and lost in the homogenized darkness of the not-self. But there is this tiny minority that is hot, that is ready to mutate, ready to awaken to its true nature as this extraordinary alien juxtaposition. So we have this profound duality, the cold, structured dark matter of our crystals and the hot, mutative atomic matter of our bodies. These two fundamental components do not naturally interact with each other. They exist in different realms of reality, operating by different rules. So how is it possible for them to come together to create the living, breathing illusion that is us? There must be a bridge, a mediating force that can communicate between these disparate worlds. This is where the neutrino comes in. The neutrino is the cosmic glue, the incredible, miraculous particle that makes our entire existence possible. It is the force that stands in the middle, forming the bond that creates the whole illusion. It is for this reason that I have had a long and deep love affair with the neutrino. It is such an amazing thing. Most people who encounter human design can grasp the basic concept of the stream of neutrinos passing through the crystals and how the unique filtering of that information leads to our individuation on this plane. But the neutrino's role is far more profound than just being an information carrier. What makes the neutrino so special is its unique ability to interact with everything. It not only interacts with pure atomic matter, but it also has the capacity to interact with dark matter and is influenced by dark energy. It is the universal translator, the only thing that speaks all the languages of the biverse. It is through the agency of the neutrino that the atomic world and the dark matter world are woven together. The neutrino allows the information of the atomic program to move through the dark matter crystals, and in turn, it allows the structuring influence of the crystals to be imprinted upon the atomic form. Without the neutrino, there would be no connection. The crystals would remain inert pieces of dark matter, and the body would be just an unensouled biological machine. The neutrino is what breathes life into the equation, creating this magnificent dark matter atomic juxtaposition that we are. It is the silent, ever-present force that maintains the integrity of the illusion we call life, moment by moment. This understanding elevates the importance of the neutrino stream from a simple background program to the very lifeblood of our reality. It is the active ingredient in the cosmic soup. The dark matter provides the structure, the stable framework, but it is not creative. Atomics provide the creativity, the mutative spark, but they have no inherent structure, and would simply blow themselves apart in chaos. It is the incredible neutrino that forms the bond, allowing for structured creativity, for ordered evolution. It is the hero of our cosmic story, the unsung particle that makes it possible for us to be here at all, experiencing this Maya as aware, unique individuals. Now we must bring this cosmic mechanical understanding down into the microcosm of our own individual vehicle. We have the two crystals of consciousness, the design crystal, which is the vehicle itself, the manifestation of our atomic form, and the personality crystal, which is the eternal passenger seated in the back, observing the journey. We have seen how these two dark matter crystals are fundamentally different from the atomic body they inhabit. But there is a third crucial element in this configuration, a component that serves as the driver of the vehicle. This is the magnetic monopole. The monopole for me is the absolute key to understanding the nature of everything, from the mechanics of our personal lives to the deepest questions of physics. The magnetic monopole, like the crystals, is a dark matter element. It was also there before the start. My own assumption within the cosmology is that it is a slightly different variation of dark matter than the crystals themselves, with a unique function. While the crystals are here to filter consciousness, the monopole is here to hold everything together and give it direction. This extraordinary element sits in our sternum, in the G-center, the seat of our identity and love. From this central point, it performs its two primary functions. First, it holds us together in the illusion of our separateness. Second, it moves us along our correct trajectory, our unique geometry through space and time. It is the driver, plotting our course through the Maya. Let's look at its first function, holding us together. The monopole generates a frequency of attraction, a magnetic pull that draws the eternal personality crystal and the new design crystal together, and binds them to the atomic body for the duration of this life. It is the force that creates the unified holistic being that we perceive ourselves to be. It creates the illusion that we are one single entity, when in fact we are a complex composite of different elements. Without the monopole, the passenger would not be connected to the vehicle, and the entire structure would fall apart. It is the linchpin at the core of our being, the source of our physical and energetic integrity, holding all the disparate parts together in a functioning union. It is essential to recognize that the monopole has a very different relationship with each of the two crystals. Its connection to the design crystal, the vehicle, is direct and deeply integrated. The body and the driver are in constant, intimate communication. The relationship with the personality crystal, however, is more distant. The passenger is in the back seat, and its connection to the driver is less immediate. This mechanical fact has profound implications. It means that the correctness of your life is far more dependent on the vehicle being correct than on the personality's ideas. The personality is always at a disadvantage, especially when its instrument, the mind, tries to grab the steering wheel and run the show. The magnetic monopole's second function is perhaps even more profound than its first. Not only does it hold us together, but it also moves us. It is the driver, and the driver's job is to navigate our trajectory through life. From the very beginning of the cosmos, everything has been in motion. Nothing is static, and for us, these self-conscious vehicles, this movement is everything. Where you are in space, who you meet, what you encounter, this is the substance of your life. The monopole is what determines this path. It pulls us along our unique line of geometry, ensuring that we are always in the right place at the right time to meet our destiny. When you surrender to your strategy and authority, you are surrendering to the perfect navigation of your monopole. This is what it means to be held together in the illusion of our separateness. The monopole creates a discrete, bounded auric field around us, giving us the experience of being a separate, individual entity. But it does so only to guide that separate entity along a very specific, predetermined path that is perfectly integrated with the larger whole. It is a beautiful paradox. We are made separate only so that we can be perfectly moved in unison with everything else. This movement, this trajectory, is everything. When you are operating correctly, following the guidance of your inner authority, you are allowing your monopole to guide you flawlessly. The line you take through life is correct, and your personal frequency is pure and clear. However, when you are not correct, when you make decisions from your homogenized, not self-mind, you distort this process. You are essentially fighting your driver. This interference distorts the frequency of the monopole. Imagine it as introducing static into its navigation system. The line you take through life becomes jagged and incorrect. You end up in the wrong places with the wrong people, encountering the wrong forces. This is the source of resistance. The monopole that is there to hold you together and guide you cannot function correctly, which means you are not able to tap into the full potential of the resources that are there in either your design crystal or your personality crystal. You become disconnected from your own power. This is not a metaphor, it is a mechanic. The entire body graph, the chart that maps out your potential, is ultimately the domain of the monopole. The design and personality calculations are the database, the influences that color the way the crystals filter. But the moment you look at the synthesized whole, the body graph itself, you are looking at the monopole's kingdom. This illusion of you, this life, this direction, it is all orchestrated by the monopole. To be correct is to be in harmony with your driver. To be in the not-self is to be in a constant battle for the steering wheel, a battle you can never ever win, and one that only leads you further and further away from your true path. At the very core of your existence, the force that coordinates your life, aligns your potential and brings together the dark matter crystals with your atomic form, is the dark matter monopole. It is the fundamental structure. We are all caught in a structure, a web that we cannot see, woven by the monopole. It is something profound to grasp, especially in a world filled with billions of human beings who genuinely believe they are in charge of their lives. They use their minds to make plans and set goals, completely oblivious to the fact that they are passengers in a vehicle that is being driven by a force they don't even know exists, along a track that has already been laid out for them. This crystal construct, this dark matter structuring, forms the invisible background program that impacts every single moment of our movement through life. As we will see when we explore the nature of the program in more detail, this entire construct of crystals and monopole is what makes us receptive to the cosmic conditioning forces that shape our global cycles and our daily experiences. It is an intricate, multi-layered mechanical system. And the duality of it all is just so beautiful. I love it. You have this and that, the crystals and the body, the dark matter and the atomics juxtaposed, and whoosh, magic. The illusion of a unique life appears, but it is not random magic, it is pure mechanics. When you can see how something works, when you understand the mechanics, you can take advantage of the system. This is the entire point of human design. It is the advantage gained from being given the schematics of the machine. The great struggle and the great work in this knowledge is that the world is overwhelmingly filled with the conditioned, the not-self. So much of the initial journey is about deconditioning, about breaking down the false structures that the mind has built. It is a lot of work. but it is essential. It is something to be very, very clear about. If you get lost identifying with your mundane existence, if you remain trapped in your mind's trip, you will never get to see what this is all about. You simply won't. You won't get to experience the profound pleasure and awe of what it truly is to be here on this plane, in this form, for this brief, beautiful ride. You won't get to see the perfection of the web. The key is to stop trying to be the weaver and to simply allow yourself to be a perfect vibration within the web. This is what it means to align with the invisible structure of the Maya. It is not about giving up your power, it is about stepping into the true power that was yours all along. The power to live out your unique, differentiated purpose by surrendering to the perfect mechanics of your own design. We have journeyed from the beginning before the start, from the silent dance of the Bhan and the Tugh in the pre-cosmic void, to the great shattering that seeded the universe with consciousness. We have explored the profound juxtaposition of our being, these atomic mutative vehicles ensouled by ancient dark matter crystals. We have seen how the miraculous neutrino weaves these disparate realities together, and how the magnetic monopole holds us in the illusion of our separateness while guiding us along our unique geometry. It is a vast and wondrous story, a cosmic fairy tale underwritten by precise and relentless mechanics. But now, we must bring this epic narrative home, from the furthest reaches of cosmology, right into the core of your personal existence, because this is where the knowledge truly matters. All of this cosmic machinery, this intricate dance of crystals and particles, is not just an abstract concept for intellectual entertainment. It is the living, breathing reality of your own inner workings. The story of the universe is your story. The personality crystal that has been traveling through form for 15 billion years is the eternal passenger that is you. The design crystal that is manifesting this brand new vehicle is the intelligence that sustains your every breath. The magnetic monopole in your sternum is the driver that is, at this very moment, pulling you through time and space. The knowledge is not out there, it is within you. It is the most intimate and personal truth of your being, the mechanical reality that defines your every experience. The purpose of this grand tour of the cosmos is to provide you with a new context for your life. It is to show you that you are not just a product of your family, your culture, or your own psychological history. You are a cosmic being, a temporary and magnificent fusion of forces that transcend human understanding. Grasping this can begin to loosen the grip of the mundane mind, which gets so lost in the small dramas of daily life. When you can hold the perspective that the source of your awareness is made of dark matter from before the Big Bang, the argument you had with your boss yesterday starts to seem a little less all-consuming. It offers a profound sense of scale, and with it, a profound sense of peace. Ultimately, this knowledge is here to serve your life, not your library. It is here to transform your experience of being in the world. The grand cosmology is the why behind the how of the simple, practical tools of human design. It explains why your strategy and authority are not just good ideas, but are your lifeline to correctness, your direct connection to the cosmic forces that are orchestrating your journey. The journey from the cosmos to your core is a journey of recognition. Recognizing that you are an integral part of this magnificent mechanism, and that you have been given the personal roadmap to navigate it correctly, to live out the unique life that was encoded in you at the very beginning. The ultimate conclusion that arises from this vast cosmology is that there is no greater purpose than to live out your own uniqueness. The entire cosmic mechanism, from the shattering of the original crystals into infinite unique fragments, is geared towards the celebration of differentiation. Yet we live in a world that relentlessly pushes us towards homogenization, towards being the same. We are taught to compare, to compete, to conform, to measure ourselves against external ideals of success, beauty, and behavior. This is the great tragedy of the not-self life. It is a denial of the very miracle of your existence. You were not created to be a copy. You were created to be an unrepeatable original, a perfect expression of your own unique design. When you begin to live according to what is correct for you, following your strategy and authority, you embark on the most radical journey of all, the journey of becoming yourself. As you do, something extraordinary happens. All the external reference points begin to fall away. The need for approval, the fear of judgment, the constant mental calculus of, am I doing it right? It all starts to dissolve. When you are living out your differentiation, when you are truly in your own flow, nothing else exists. There are no comparisons to be made because there is no one else like you. There is just the simple, profound perfection of your own process, unfolding, moment by moment. This is the beauty of being. This process inspires a love for the self that is pure and authentic. It is not the arrogant love of the ego, but a deep, quiet appreciation for the beauty of your own mechanics. You get to see the wonder of what it is to be you, not just to see it as a concept, but to live it, to feel it in your bones. You discover what peace, satisfaction, success, or surprise truly feel like for you, not as the world defines them, but as the signature of your own unique being. This enriches your life in ways the mind could never have planned. You stop fighting who you are and begin to dance with it, discovering a grace and ease that were always there, waiting beneath the layers of conditioning. I no longer see being a member of this species as a limitation, as if we are all trapped within some generic human frame. I see that the potential for uniqueness within that frame is infinite. To live out that uniqueness is the highest form of service, both to yourself and to the whole. When you are correct, your unique frequency contributes to the harmony of the cosmos. You become a beacon of authenticity in a homogenized world. This is not a selfish pursuit. It is the most generous thing you can do, because by living your own truth, you give others the permission and the inspiration to do the same, contributing to a world where the beauty of differentiation can finally be honored. The deeper you move into your experiment with strategy and authority, the more you liberate yourself from the mind's desperate attempt to run your life. This is the great reward of honoring the form principle. By surrendering to the wisdom of your vehicle, you create the space for your true awareness to emerge. You begin to experience the world from the perspective of the passenger consciousness, the ancient and eternal aspect of you that is simply here for the ride. This is a profound shift in identity. You stop identifying with the driver's stress or the vehicle's mechanics and start to simply watch the movie of your life unfold with a sense of wonder and detachment. This is the passenger's privilege. From this vantage point, you get to watch your own mind. You see its distortions, its fears, its clever strategies, and its endless stories. But you are no longer lost in them. You can see the mind's patterns as clearly as you can see the clouds passing in the sky. You recognize that it is a mechanism, a fascinating and complex one, but it is not you. This separation is the beginning of true freedom. It is the end of the suffering that comes from being identified with the not-self's anxieties. You can have compassion for your mind's struggles without being a victim of them. You can appreciate its unique perspective without giving it the authority to make your decisions. This awakened awareness allows you to see the world with new eyes. You begin to see the other, not through the lens of your mind's judgments and projections, but with a clarity that recognizes their mechanics. You see their struggles, their conditioning, and the beauty of their own unique design, even if they cannot see it themselves. This is not a mental trap, it is pure seeing. The fun and the joke of the Maya become apparent. You can see the grand, intricate play of forces, the dance of the program, and your own unique role within it. Life ceases to be a personal problem to be solved and becomes a magnificent spectacle to be witnessed. This is the ultimate goal of the knowledge to bring you to this state of pure awareness. It is all about honoring the form so that the passenger can finally relax and enjoy the view. Without committing to your vehicle, without trusting its strategy and authority above all else, this is not possible. You remain stuck in the front seat, wrestling with the driver, your eyes glued to the pavement just ahead, terrified of what's around the next bend. You miss the whole glorious landscape. By surrendering to the form, you reclaim your rightful place as the passenger, the silent watcher for whom this entire cosmic journey was created in the first place. For all the talk of dark matter, eternal crystals, and cosmic programs, the path to this profound transformation begins and ends with the utmost simplicity. It is a simplicity that the conditioned mind, with its love for complexity and drama, often dismisses as being too easy or too mundane. I have been a teacher of this knowledge for over 2 decades, and the message has never changed, because the mechanics have never changed. I keep telling people, over and over again, that it is all about your strategy and your authority. This is not just a beginner's step, it is the alpha and the omega of the entire journey. It is the simple, sacred practice that liberates you from your mind and allows your true life to emerge. This practice is not about belief, it is about experimentation. It is a commitment to a new way of making decisions, moving the locus of power from your head to your body. Each time you are faced with a choice, you turn away from the mind's pros and cons and you turn towards your inner authority. You wait for the sacral response, you listen for the splenic intuition, you honor the clarity of your emotional wave. Each time you do this, you are performing a revolutionary act. You are breaking a lifetime of conditioning. You are choosing your unique truth over the homogenized noise of the world. It is in this simple, repeated action that the entire deconditioning process takes place. This journey is not a quick fix. It is a lifelong practice, a process of peeling back the layers of the not-self one decision at a time. There will be moments of doubt. Your mind will scream at you, telling you that you are being foolish, that you are missing out, that you need to take control. This is the great struggle. But with each correct decision, your trust in your inner authority deepens. You begin to feel the difference in your body and in your life. You experience less resistance. You feel the deep sense of rightness that comes from being in alignment with your own nature. This lived experience becomes your proof, far more powerful than any words I could ever say. So regardless of where your imagination has traveled during this cosmic tale, always bring it back to this simple, practical core. The power of human design is not in the knowing, it is in the living. It is in the day-in, day-out commitment to honoring your form. Strategy and authority is the key that unlocks everything else. It is what allows the Monopole to guide you, the crystals to filter correctly, and the passenger to awaken. It is the simple, sacred path that takes you out of the madness of the mind and into the beautiful, authentic reality of your own unique life. This is the point. It always comes back to your life and your strategy and authority. What I hope I have been able to share with you is that human design is more than just another system. It is a roadmap. It is a detailed, personalized manual for navigating the grand illusion, the Maya. It points out every little detail along your unique path, showing you the mechanics of your own nature and the nature of the forces you will encounter. Each aspect of this knowledge, from the smallest detail of a gate to the grandest arc of the cosmology, is here to bring value into your own personal process. It is a body of knowledge that is here to nurture the individual, to support and celebrate your uniqueness. This, in the end, is the highest purpose of any true knowledge, to be of benefit, to serve the other in their journey to themselves. So, as we conclude this first lesson, remember that while it is beautiful to put your head through the sky every once in a while and gaze at the cosmic wonders, we live our lives here on this plane in this world. This is where we belong, and we are here to live out the correctness of what is possible for us. The beauty of the mystery should never distract you from the practicality of the solution. The entire system is designed to empower you to live a better, more authentic life, to reduce resistance and find your unique signature of peace, satisfaction, success, or surprise. The roadmap is in your hands, but you are the one who must walk the path. The wonder of a cosmology that required no great intent at the start is something that deeply inspires me. It suggests that within this grand juxtaposition of forces, nothing is truly fixed. Because the dark matter is dependent on the atomics just as the atomics are dependent on the dark matter, we have no real idea of the ultimate potential, of where this great cosmic experiment can go. When you are living out your uniqueness, you are a pioneer on the leading edge of that experiment. You are exploring a new possibility of what it means to be human, a new expression of consciousness in form. You are part of the creative, mutative potential of the universe itself. Therefore, the journey forward is simple. Take your strategy and your authority and begin the experiment. Don't believe me, test it for yourself. See what happens when you stop letting your mind run your life and start trusting the profound intelligence of your form. This is your roadmap. It will guide you away from the homogenized highways and onto the unique country lane that was designed just for you. It is a path that leads not to some external destination, but deeper and deeper into the beauty, the power, and the profound mystery of what it is to be you. This is the journey of a lifetime, and it is the greatest adventure you will ever undertake.